On a crisp autumn morning in October 2020, the quiet Oak Cliff neighborhood of Dallas, Texas was shattered by gunshots that would unravel a shocking tale of betrayal, manipulation, and murder. At the center of this tragic story was Jamie Faith, a beloved husband, father, an American Airlines executive whose life was cut short in a brutal ambush just steps from his front door. What initially appeared to be a random act of violence would soon be revealed as an intricate murder-for-hire plot orchestrated by those closest to Jamie, leaving a community reeling and exposing the depths of human deception. James Jamie Faith Jr. was born on May 11, 1970. By all accounts, he lived a life marked by kindness, hard work, and dedication to his family and career. In 2005, Jamie was set up on a blind date with Jennifer, a woman who would become his wife and, ultimately, the architect of his demise. Their relationship blossomed quickly, and after 7 years together, they eloped in Las Vegas in 2012. Friends described Jamie and Jennifer as a happy couple who seemed to have a lot in common. Jamie embraced Jennifer's daughter from a previous marriage, legally adopting her and welcoming her into their family. In 2017, the Faiths relocated from Arizona to Dallas when Jamie received a promotion to become a supervisor at American Airlines. The Faith family settled into their new life in the Oak Cliff neighborhood of Dallas. To outsiders, they appeared to be living the American dream, a successful career, a loving family, and a comfortable home in a friendly community. Neighbors like Melinda Mendoza and Jenna Wilson, while not close friends with the Faiths, saw them as relatable and kind people who fit right into the neighborhood. Jamie was known for his dedication to his work at American Airlines and his love for his family. The couple's morning walks with their dog Maggie became a familiar sight to neighbors, a symbol of their seemingly idyllic life together. However, beneath the surface of this picture-perfect existence, a sinister plot was taking shape. Unbeknownst to Jamie and their friends, Jennifer Faith had rekindled a relationship with her high school sweetheart, Darrin Lopez, in March 2020. Lopez, an Army veteran with Special Forces training, lived in Tennessee and had not seen Jennifer in decades. Despite the distance and time apart, their connection quickly intensified. Over the next 7 months, Jennifer and Darrin exchanged thousands of text messages daily, engaging in what Jennifer later described as a full-blown emotional affair. During this time, Jennifer began crafting an elaborate scheme of deception, creating fake emails and text messages that portrayed Jamie as physically and sexually abusive. Jennifer's manipulation of Darrin Lopez was calculated and relentless. She sent him fabricated emails, purportedly from Jamie, detailing horrific acts of abuse. She even went so far as to use photos from a car accident she had been in years earlier as proof of Jamie's violence. Lopez, who suffered from PTSD and a traumatic brain injury from his military service, believed these lies and became convinced that Jennifer needed to be rescued from her abusive husband. As the fictional abuse escalated in Jennifer's fabricated narrative, she began to hint to Lopez that she needed his help to escape her situation permanently. The stage was set for a tragedy that would shock the community and devastate the lives of all involved. On October 9, 2020, Jamie and Jennifer Faith left their home for their usual morning walk with their dog Maggie. It was a routine that neighbors had grown accustomed to seeing. However, this morning would be tragically different. Just moments after leaving their front door, a masked gunman appeared and opened fire on Jamie. The attack was swift and brutal. Jamie was shot 7 times, 3 times in the head, 3 times in the chest, and once in the groin. The precision and brutality of the shooting would later be attributed to Lopez's military training. After gunning down Jamie, the assailant turned to Jennifer, duct taped her hands and attempted to steal her jewelry, staging the scene to look like a robbery gone wrong. Neighbors were alerted by the gunshots and Jennifer's hysterical screams. As they emerged from their homes, they were confronted with a chaotic and horrifying scene. Jamie lay dead in the street while Jennifer, still bound with duct tape, cried for help. Emergency services were quickly called, but it was too late for Jamie. In the immediate aftermath of the shooting, Jennifer Faith played the role of the grieving widow convincingly. She gave tearful interviews to local media, pleading for information about her husband's killer. "I just hope that at some point, maybe, this person can recognize the gravity of what they've done and feel some sort of guilt enough to come forward," Jennifer said in one such interview. The community rallied around Jennifer and her daughter. Neighbors organized meal trains and offered support. A GoFund account was set up to help the family, eventually raising over $60,000. Jennifer Faith had successfully cast herself as a victim, garnering sympathy and support from those around her. As police began their investigation, they focused on finding the black Nissan Titan pickup truck with a distinctive T decal on its back window, which had been seen fleeing the scene. This crucial piece of evidence would eventually lead investigators to Darrin Lopez. However, the case took a turn when investigators examined Jennifer Faith's phone records. They discovered her emotional affair with Lopez and the thousands of text messages exchanged between them. This revelation raised suspicions about Jennifer's possible involvement in her husband's murder. As detectives dug deeper, they uncovered a web of deception that stretched back months before Jamie's murder. They discovered that Jennifer had been sending fake emails to Lopez, posing as both Jamie and a former co-worker, detailing fictional accounts of abuse. On January 11, 2021, 3 months after Jamie's murder, Darrin Lopez was arrested at his home in Tennessee. Authorities found a black Nissan Titan with a T decal parked on his property, matching the description of the getaway vehicle. Searches of Lopez's home and vehicle yielded further evidence, including the alleged murder weapon and a mask matching Jennifer's description of the shooter. Initially, Jennifer Faith maintained her innocence and continued to play the role of the grieving widow. However, her facade began to crumble as more evidence came to light. In February 2021, she was arrested and charged with obstruction of justice for deleting text messages and asking Lopez to remove the T sticker from his truck. The final blow came in September 2021 when Jennifer Faith was charged with murder for hire. The discovery of the fabricated emails on her computer provided irrefutable evidence of her role in orchestrating her husband's murder. The relationship between Jennifer Faith and Darrin Lopez was a complex web of manipulation and deceit that ultimately led to tragedy. The two had dated briefly in high school, even attending prom together, before going their separate ways. Decades later, in March 2020, they reconnected online at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as innocent catching up quickly escalated into what Jennifer described as a full-blown emotional affair with Lopez, who was living in Tennessee at the time. As their communication intensified, Jennifer began fabricating an elaborate story of abuse at the hands of her husband. Jamie Faith. She created fake email accounts posing as Jamie and a fictional friend named Rob, sending Lopez graphic details of supposed physical and sexual abuse. Jennifer manipulated Lopez, who had suffered a traumatic brain injury during his military service, into believing she was in imminent danger. Their exchanges grew increasingly intimate, with the pair professing their love and discussing plans for a future together. Jennifer's manipulation culminated in her convincing Lopez to drive from Tennessee to Dallas to murder Jamie Faith under the guise of protecting her from further abuse. This twisted rekindling of their high school romance ultimately resulted in Jamie's death and life-altering consequences for both Jennifer and Lopez. As the case against Jennifer Faith and Darrin Lopez built, the extent of their deception became clear. Investigators uncovered numerous pieces of evidence that painted a damning picture of their involvement in Jamie's murder. 1. Thousands of text messages between Jennifer and Lopez, including discussions about their plan and attempts to cover their tracks after the murder. 2. Fabricated emails found on Jennifer's computer, in which she posed as Jamie and a co-worker to create a false narrative of abuse. 3. Financial records showing Jennifer had used money from the GoFund account to buy gifts for Lopez, including a large-screen TV and airline tickets. For GPS data placing Lopez at the scene of the crime on the morning of the murder. 5. The murder weapon and a mask matching Jennifer's description found in Lopez's possession. 6. Text messages from Jennifer to Lopez instructing him to remove the T sticker from his truck after the murder. Faced with overwhelming evidence, Jennifer Faith pleaded guilty to orchestrating the murder-for-hire plot in February 2022. On June 21, 2022, she was sentenced to life in prison. In addition to her life sentence, Jennifer was ordered to pay $6,500 to Jamie's family for funeral expenses and a $250,000 fine. Darrin Lopez's case went to trial in July 2023. His defense team argued that he had been manipulated by Jennifer and truly believed he was protecting her from abuse. They cited his traumatic brain injury and PTSD from his military service as factors that made him susceptible to Jennifer's manipulation. Despite these arguments, the jury found Lopez guilty after less than an hour of deliberation. He was sentenced to 62 years in prison. Throughout the investigation and even after her arrest, Jennifer Faith continued to present herself as a grieving widow. Her public statements and actions in the aftermath of Jamie's murder provide a chilling insight into her ability to deceive. 1. In a local TV interview shortly after the murder, Jennifer made an emotional plea. "I just hope that at some point, maybe, this person can recognize the gravity of what they've done and feel some sort of guilt enough to come forward." 2. She actively participated in the community's efforts to support her, accepting meals and financial assistance from neighbors who believed she was a victim. 3. Jennifer used the GoFund money raised for her family to buy gifts for Lopez, including a large-screen TV and airline tickets, all while presenting herself as a grieving widow. For even after Lopez's arrest, Jennifer maintained contact with him, sending messages through a third party saying, "Please tell him ASAP I will always be his." 5. When interviewed by police, Jennifer initially claimed her relationship with Jamie was good and that there was no one else in her life, never mentioning Darrin Lopez. These actions and statements demonstrate the extent of Jennifer's deception and her ability to manipulate those around her, including her community, the media, and law enforcement. The murder of Jamie Faith is a tragic tale of betrayal that shocked a community and exposed the depths of human deception. What began as a seemingly senseless act of violence was revealed to be an intricately planned murder-for-hire scheme, orchestrated by the very person Jamie should have been able to trust the most, his wife. This case serves as a stark reminder of the potential for betrayal even in seemingly perfect relationships and the devastating consequences of manipulation and deceit. It also highlights the complexities of human psychology, showing how past traumas and vulnerabilities can be exploited by those with malicious intent. As the community continues to grapple with the aftermath of this tragedy, the memory of Jamie Faith lives on through those who knew and loved him. His friends remember him as a kind and dedicated man whose life was cut tragically short. While justice has been served in the legal sense, the impact of this crime continues to resonate, serving as a somber reminder of the importance of trust, honesty, and vigilance in our relationships and communities.